How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to On The Ball. Welcome back to another round of Premier League predictions where me and Sim go head-to-head in predicting Premier League outcomes. As you can see, it's 324 to Sim, 322 to me. And if you don't know by now, the way the scoring works, it's 5 points for a completely correct scoreline, 1 point for a correct result. At the end of the episode, we pick a star man each, and it's 5 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist. And let's get into the weekend's action. Starting off at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United against Everton. Sim has gone for 2-1 to Manchester United. I've gone for 1-1 here, but why 2-1?
I've just gone for the home advantage to make a bit of a difference. I didn't actually consider Højlund is back for this game. I'm going to assume he is. I don't know.
He is not.
He is not. Okay, that makes a big difference then. They're probably not going to win. I didn't consider, because obviously he makes such a big difference as that outlet.
You didn't pick him your star man, did you?
I didn't pick him my star man, thankfully, but no spoilers. But I just think United with home advantage. I know that they lost at home to Fulham last time out, but Everton just on the back of some really dodgy form at the moment. I think Man United will want to put on a bit of a performance in this one. So I went from the shade it, but that was kind of thinking that Højlund was fit. So, well.
Yeah, it says here he's due back on the 16th of March. So still a bit of a way to go. But yeah, I agree with you. They will want to put on a show, but will they put on a show? I kind of question that with the amount of injuries that they do have. Luke Shaw out for an extended amount of time. Like you mentioned, Højlund out as well. And I feel like Everton will be a tough nut to crack this weekend. I don't think either side are on great form, to be honest. You're looking at Manchester United. They just lost at home to Fulham, and Fulham deserved that victory as well, even though Man United did equalise quite late on in the game. Everton, on the other hand, I feel like they might come to the Old Trafford and really, put themselves about a little bit, be physical with Manchester United, and I feel Everton might take the lead, but then Man United will come back and get that equaliser. But I don't think it's going to be a great game by any stretch of the imagination. So 1-1 I've gone for. Let's go to Bournemouth against Sheffield United. Sim's gone for 3-0. I've gone for 4-0. Sheffield United they're just the whipping boys at the moment, getting absolutely battered week in, week out. Bournemouth, on the other hand, they're not on the greatest form themselves, but they just did get back to winning ways last weekend. And I feel that Sheffield United are going to feel the wrath of Bournemouth, with Dom Solanke probably being very central to the goals this weekend. So 4-0 for me.
Yeah, and they just got back to winning ways, and they Bournemouth against Burnley last time out, so broke that kind of duck where they weren't playing too badly, but weren't getting the wins they probably deserve. So I think that will go a long way to giving the confidence to just take the game to Sheffield United in this one. I've only gone 3-0, but I do think it's going to be a very dominant performance, and I'm sure that it'll be convincing from Bournemouth.
Yeah. Next up, we go to Selhurst Park. It's Crystal Palace against Luton. Both of us gone for the exact same scoreline here in 2-1. Both going for Palace to carry on that new manager bounce, albeit they did lose last game to Spurs.
Yeah, but I do think it'll be Glasner can keep up his 100% record at home, at least. I know Luton are always a bit tough nut to crack, and look, the reality is they're on the back of 4 straight defeats here, and they're starting to lose their way. They're starting to lose their grip on survival, to be honest. It is only 4 points away from Forest, but I just feel like with the good feeling around Palace. I know they lost to Spurs last time out, but they obviously was a very close game, and Spurs had to wait the last 13 minutes to get the victory. I do think with home advantage, with Eze back in the team as well, I do think they'll have enough to scrape past a very dogged Luton side.
They are actually on a fairly decent run away from home, Luton, when you're looking at a win against Sheffield United, draw against Burnley, a win against Everton in the Cup, and a draw against Newcastle. Yes, they did lose to Liverpool quite convincingly.
So 1 win in 5.
But that for them is decent. That's decent form for them. When you're looking at earlier on the season, they were getting beat every week away from home, week in, week out, and it was their home form that was kind of getting them out of trouble. When you're looking at Crystal Palace, new manager bounce, Oliver Glasner, so I think that will just about get them over the line this game. But I do think Luton, like you said, Luton will be quite dogged in this game and provide a difficult test. But I do think Palace will just about get over the line here, with Eberechi Eze probably being the star man of the show. So I've gone for 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Next up, we go to Molineux you. It's Wolves against Fulham. I have gone for 1-0 to Wolves, which seems to be the theme with Wolves at home at the moment. A nice 1-0 display with a fairly good defensive display. Fulham, they are on good form. They just went to Old Trafford and took all 3 points in a convincing 2-1 display. But I just feel like I think Pedro Neto will be fit for this game. So I think that will just make the difference for Wolves this weekend. So 1-0.
Yeah, I've gone for 2-1 to Fulham. I think they've got their tails up at the moment. 3 wins in their last 4 games, and a win at Old Trafford is really going to put them in good spirits. Wolves, on the other hand, lost. They did lose their last game very disappointingly, and I think if Hwang Hee-chan is out, if Neto's, depends how fit Neto is. If he might play, but he might not play 100% fit. We know Cunha's definitely out. I just feel like they're going to have, as Mourinho would put it, a gun without any bullets, and I fear they might struggle to really take the game to Fulham here. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Fulham.
Yeah, if it was at Craven Cottage, I probably would have agreed with you, but because it is at Molineux and Fulham aren't exactly the best away side this season. Yes, they did win at Old Trafford, but I think their away form before that has been absolutely shocking. So I've just sided with the home team here with Wolves. Now we have to go over to the Emirates. Can we skip this one? We have to go for it. Arsenal against Brentford. Sim's gone for 3-1. I've gone for 4-0. Why 3-1?
I think Brentford do tend to make Arsenal sweat a bit. They have struggled to kind of win games convincingly against Brentford in previous seasons, and I do think, with Ivan Toney and Wissa there, I can see them causing them a bit of trouble. But the way Arsenal are playing at the moment, I don't see anything but Arsenal come away with 3 points, and they're playing some scintillating football. I think they're going to be able to open up Brentford too often, and Brentford aren't going to be able to have too many answers to that. So apart from maybe a consolation, I've gone for 3-1.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think you can take previous seasons into account for this one. Arsenal just absolutely playing out their skin, battering every team that come their way, and Brentford have their own issues. They've got injuries at the back. They seem to be shipping quite a lot of goals this in recent weeks, and Arsenal at home, where they've been so dominant, I just can't see anything but a battering, to be honest. And you're looking at Arsenal, they're hardly conceding a chance of game at the moment. Yeah, they have conceded a few, maybe a consolation against Newcastle, and there were a few others in there. But against this Brentford side, yeah, they got Ivan Toney, they got Morpie, they got Wissa, but I just can't see them hurting Arsenal at all. So I've gone for 4-0 to Arsenal and another dominant Arsenal display. Let's go on to Villa Park in a massive game in the top 4 race. It's Aston Villa against Tottenham. Sim's gone for 3-1 to Tottenham. I've gone for 2-1. And this is going to be a really good game of football. And I think that when you're looking at Spurs' form coming into it, that Crystal Palace game was probably our best performance in a while. And the only thing that was lacking was really, chance creation time and time again, particularly in that first half. And I feel like with Villa's high line, and we keep Sonny in the number 9, I think that can come this weekend. I think we can exploit that situation. Having said that, Villa are coming into it in good form as well, with Ollie Watkins and Leon Bailey really playing out of their skin at the moment. But I just feel like we can pick them off a little bit this weekend, so I've gone for 2-1.
Yeah, I think the fact that Villa play against Ajax on the Thursday night could make a real big difference as to how long they can last with that intensity they like to play with. They're a very aggressive team, especially at Villa Park. They like to push the high line up. They like to press really aggressively. And will they be able to keep that up for 90 minutes? I have a feeling that the first half will be Villa coming flying out the traps and will be very difficult to deal with. But as the game wears on, as Tottenham get a foothold in the game, all of a sudden I think those gaps will start to appear. And I agree, I think Tottenham will be able to come out victorious at the end. Let's just hope that Villa don't take too much impetus from that first half. I'm going to bank on the fact that maybe we go into half-time 1-1 and then we go on, win the game 3-1.
All right, let's do this. Both us predicting Spurs win, so yeah, what's probably going to happen this weekend.
Not good luck.
Brighton against Nottingham Forest at the Amex. Sim's gone for 2-1 to Forest here.
I have. I think, again, they got a grueling game against Roma in midweek as well. And we know that Brighton have struggled a bit when they've had to contend with Europe and league form. I think Forest are kind of perfectly set up to exploit this Brighton side as well. And I think they've been a bit unlucky in recent weeks. Away at Villa, they were 3-0 down, but got it back to 3-2, and another day could have been a different result. Home to Liverpool, really good counter-attacking performance, but they missed a host of chances and ended up losing the game in the last minute. Winner from Nunes. I just look at Elanga, Morgan Gibbs-White, Awioni. I think they've got the talent there to really hurt Brighton on the counter-attack, and Brighton only know one way of playing, and I expect them to suffer a bit from European exploits. So I've gone for Forest to go away from home and win.
Yeah, you say that Brighton do struggle after European exploits, but it's usually away from home. At home, they are usually quite formidable, to be honest. They've only lost one game at home all season, and that came in August against West Ham. So I feel like with Nottingham Forest, they are quite open at the back, and I think Brighton definitely have the players to hurt them. There seems to be a lot of goals in every Nottingham Forest game at the moment, albeit every Brighton game as well. So I do think you're going to see a really good open game of football, but I just feel like Brighton are just going to have the better attacking players and the better edge over Nottingham Forest this weekend. So I've gone for 3-2 to Brighton this weekend. We move on to West Ham against Burnley, a battle of the Claret and Blues. Both of us gone for the exact same scoreline in 3-1 to West Ham. West Ham back on form, 2 wins out of their last 2 games. Burnley are just way too open, losing every game at the moment. And since Lucas Paquetá has come back to West Ham, the wins have started to roll in. And I feel it will be the same story this weekend, so 3-1.
Yeah, I think obviously West Ham as well have Europe. They play Freiburg in midweek, so will that make a difference in terms of selection? I just think even with the European football, they're going to have too much for Burnley. If they have that front three of Bowen, Kudus, Paquetá together, even though they might tie towards the end, they could be 3-0 up by then, and that's what I'm expecting in this kind of game. West Ham are starting to turn it around a bit, 2 consecutive wins after a really bad start to 2024, so the confidence is back flowing through that team, and I can't see Burnley having any answer to that front three, so 3-1 to West Ham.
And now we go to the game of the weekend, the big clash at Anfield in the title race. It's Liverpool against Man City, the 2 big horses in the race. We've both gone for 2-2 here. I think it's probably the safest scoreline that we could have gone for, to be honest.
Yeah, it's tough to really pick a winner. I think as well, a lot depends on who's fit for Liverpool. I think Trent is he still out? I think Salah obviously is back in training, so he's going to be a massive plus. But they started a midfield last game of Bobby Clark and Joe Gomez in there. If there's anything resembling that, I don't know how they come away with all 3 points, but we know Liverpool at Anfield is such a formidable team that even if they do have maybe a depleted team, they're still going to give City a massive game. And I expect City to struggle maybe with the intensity at points, but the form Phil Foden is in. Obviously Haaland signed score again. De Bruyne is come back in the team. I think they're going to struggle to create chances overall, especially as they get a foothold in the game. I see a very entertaining game here. Couldn't split them, so I went for 2-2.
Yeah, I kind of similar reasons. I think if Mo Salah was out for this game, I probably would have sided just with Man City, but Mo Salah is a real thorn in Man City's side whenever they play each other, so he's guaranteed contributions if he does start the game or even if he comes off the bench. So I'm really excited for this game. I kind of hope there is going to be a winner, just so Arsenal don't go top of the league this weekend.
This result would mean Arsenal do finish the weekend on top of the league.
Yeah, but even if Arsenal do finish the weekend top of the league, the next game is Man City against Arsenal at the Etihad. So big game still to come, and it's a long way to go still. So 2-2, both of us. And then we move on to Monday Night Football at Stamford Bridge as Chelsea against Newcastle. Sim has gone for 2-2 here. I have gone for 2-1 to Newcastle. I feel like Newcastle kind of turning a corner at the moment with players starting to filter back. Results are starting to replicate that. They've only lost 1 game in the last 5 or 6, and that was against Arsenal, and who was obviously the form team in the league at the moment. And with Chelsea, you never really know what you're going to get. To be honest, they could turn out and put in a really good display, but I feel like Newcastle will just have a bit too much. Isaac, a few more minutes in his legs. I think he's going to be the real danger man for Newcastle. And I don't know. I predicted a Chelsea win last week and that got thrown back in my face. So I've decided to go the opposite way with a Newcastle win.
Yeah, I think 2 inconsistent teams at the moment. I know Newcastle got a very good win against Wolves last time out, but I think Chelsea, for all their faults, they are unbeaten in 3. I know they got a poor result against Brentford last time out, but they didn't lose. They did claw back and get the draw right at the last minute, and maybe they'll keep that confidence going a bit in the team, although they are very much struggling in the middle of the table at the moment. I don't see either of the team dominating or taking each other to the sword. I do see chances at both ends, and I do see goals at both ends, so I went for 2-2.
All right, now 2 outside of the box star men pick. Sim's gone for Semenyo, is that it?
Semenyo of Bournemouth. Obviously at home to Sheffield United, it was too tempting not to. Obviously Sheffield United is shipping goals left, right and centre at the moment. He's been in decent form as well. He's got a few goals lately, so I'm backing him to get another one here.
You know what? I had him, Semenyo. I was looking at the Bournemouth team. I was like, which one of these guys should I put in? And I was like, Justin Kluivert. I'm not sure. He's not always a dead cert to start. Semenyo, I wasn't too sure about him. He was probably the one I was going to go for if I was going to go for any Bournemouth player. But I sided with Pascal Gross. He is having an absolutely brilliant season. 10 assists to his name this season already, which is an unbelievable return. He chips in with a few goals here and there as well. And I think I predicted Brighton to score 3 goals this weekend, and I think he'll be central to what they're doing. So I've gone for Pascal Gross.
So he's going to get injured against Roma.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. But that is our Predict the Prem this week. Let me know your predictions and let me know your Starman picks in the comment section below. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We'll see you next time.